one big question, Joe, that we need to tackle right here, and we just talked about the man, John Cena, returning at Hell in a Cell. Now, some people, and I know it's spreading like wildfire, they're throwing the remotes at the television. They're probably pushing their television out the window. They're probably screaming and they're throwing temper tantrums. They're probably crying like John Boehner. But, you know, because John Cena is coming back and they don't like it as far as they were concerned. WWE was so perfect without John Cena. Why is he coming back? Some people will probably say he's a disease, he's poison, he's a cancer. You know, and it brings me to a very interesting topic for tonight. For those of you that might have read the description, we're going in depth here because it's time to talk about the John Cena effect. Okay? Now, John Cena, again, returning at Hell in a Cell. He just had surgery a couple of months back for his tricep. We were under the impression that with word that was coming from WWE, he wasn't expected back until maybe Royal Rumble. But with John Cena coming back, one of the questions that we need to ask ourselves is, what can we expect of John Cena? Is he really going to be back at a full 100%? Now, for those of you that maybe saw him make his rounds on interviews earlier today, you notice he wasn't wearing a cast or anything, at least not to my knowledge. So, you know, that's one clue right there that maybe his arm is 100%. Who knows? We really can't say until we see him in action against Alberto Del Rio. But I think that WWE as well as John Cena, I really believe that these two would not put themselves in a position where John Cena could do even more harm to his body. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to jump out there. I'm going to say John Cena is 100% healthy. Now, what does this mean, Joe, for the WWE fans? What does this mean for John Cena's return to the WWE superstars such as Daniel Bryan, The Shield, Alberto Del Rio, the Corporation 2.0, Big Show? Most importantly, what does this mean for the WWE empire as a whole? First, let's look at it from the fan standpoint, Joe. We just talked about it. We got fans that love and or hate John Cena. And hate is a strong word, I know, but you actually have fans out there that genuinely hate John Cena. Okay? Let's talk about that a little bit, okay? We got the WWE fans there. Let's look at his impact in the WWE, because this is a guy right here, 10-plus years in the company. Whether some of you all like it or not, he is in his own right in the same argument with the Hulk Hogans, with the Stone Cold Steve Austins, with the Ultimate Warriors, with the Triple H's, with the Dwayne The Rock Johnsons. He's in that same class, whether you guys like it or not. And I think we all can definitely admit that without John Cena in the WWE has not really had its face, its true face, for the company. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I totally agree with that. You just laid it on the line. He is in that class. He is the Hulk Hogan or the Steve Austin of this current era. And I also agree with you that the man is 100%. They're not rushing him back due to the lack of ratings, I guess we would say. The man is actually legitimately 100% ready. I think the man is Superman. He is legitimately Superman. He is ready. I think he's ready to come back. And like it or not, he's back, folks. Like it or not.
All right. You know, he's back. You know, now you're going to have those fans that's going to continue to talk trash about John Cena. They're going to question why he's coming back. Understand the ratings really haven't been that well for WWE Raw. I would expect that maybe the pay-per-view buy rates hasn't really been that good with John Cena being absent. Understand this, folks. John Cena, he is one hell of a merchandise pusher. That guy sells. Anything that guy touches, it sells. Why do you think the kids... I mean, the last time I was at a WWE live event, I was just so amazed at the number of people that were wearing John Cena gear. I mean, from babies to grown men to women. And then to see John Cena come out, I was paying very close attention to the reactions, but when Cena came out, it was just, I mean, he is just a freaking phenomenon right now for WWE and its fans. And whether some of you guys like it or not, John Cena is that driving force. He brings in the profits. Now, let's look at the WWE superstars, Joe. What does this mean for Daniel Bryan? What does this mean for The Shield? What does this mean for Alberto Del Rio, Corporation, Big Show, Triple H? All these people have been involved in some very, very good story arcs. You know, with John Cena coming in, a lot of people fear that he's going to be stepping on somebody's toes, that this is going to hurt the push of some of those people that I just mentioned, as now they're going to have to take a little bit of a backseat to him. You know, well, what's your take on this? How much of an impact is this going to have on the WWE superstars?
I don't know. Like, I have a couple of feelings about it. A part of me feels like he is 100% ready to go, and you know, we're going to see him eventually go into the Randy Orton Triple H storyline eventually. But then there's another half of me that says they're using him as a decoy here for this pay-per-view to possibly put Del Rio over a little bit. Del Rio's going to attack that injured arm with his cross armbar, and you know, they're going to show that Cena's not exactly 100%, I guess. And it's gonna make Del Rio look like a monster, pretty much. It's gonna make him look strong. Because why randomly throw him against Alberto Del Rio? Why not insert him in the Raw storyline, in the Randy Orton storyline here? So it's kind of odd that he would be on the SmackDown side of things here, I'd say. So I'm leaning more towards he's going to be a decoy. We're not really going to see a full-fledged John Cena match, but they need to hype up this pay-per-view. They need the buy rates, so they need the face back. It's always best for business, as Triple H would say, when your franchise is on the active roster.
That is true. You know, one of the things that really jump out at me with John Cena, we have RVD, who was just doing a phenomenal job for his time in the WWE. He went out on a high note. SmackDown side of things, there really is no true face for that world title. There really isn't that much of a draw. And that's really one of the things that's been greatly missed on the SmackDown side of things. As good as programming as SmackDown has been, you kind of have to look at the players that are involved for making sure that SmackDown is able to go better, sometimes even more so than Raw. Triple H, Big Show, past several weeks, they have been what's been the lore for SmackDown as they are continuing the story arc from Raw. You know, these guys are doing double duty work right here, and I think honestly it would be a little bit unfair to just throw John Cena into the Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan picture right now. Those guys, they got something, if it continues to be handled the way that it's been handled, they got something very magical there that they can do. And to just have John Cena be thrown in there, somebody's going to get hurt in the process. And I think, honestly, it would probably be more so Daniel Bryan than anybody else. I think he would, unfortunately, be the odd man out, because if they continue to operate the way that they're doing right now, WrestleMania very well could be the WWE Championship on the line as Daniel Bryan, the champion, takes on CM Punk. I don't know about you guys, but to hear two Ring of Honor alumni going at it for the WWE title, that sounds like money to my ears, you know. But I think John Cena is greatly needed on the SmackDown side of things, and I think he would have to be put in that position where he possibly takes the title from ADR. Now, I agree with you 100%. I think that it would be somewhat bad booking to have John Cena go over his, in his first match back against ADR, and he takes the belt away, because you've basically just said that Alberto Del Rio's title reign for X amount of months, it's just been a joke because the real champ is here. That's the argument, that could be made. But then on the flip side of things, it's also kind of catering to what some of the fans may want, as there's some fans that are sick and tired of seeing Alberto Del Rio as champion. Honestly, you got to continue to have ADR go over, because he's the top heel for SmackDown, and he needs to be able to continue to hold on to that title for just a little while longer. I think the end result, Joe, is going to be John Cena getting pinned by Damian Sandow to become the World Heavyweight Champion, and then John Cena-Sandow feud for a couple of months. Eventually he gets the belt back. But bringing it back home, I think that if they throw him on the Raw side of things, he's going to be stepping on a lot of people's toes, because that means that the writers are going to be put in a position where they're going to have to force themselves to try to put Cena in one of those main story arcs. While on the SmackDown side of things, they really don't have that much. So it makes sense, whether some people like it or not. As far as I'm concerned, Joe, new reason to watch SmackDown on Friday nights, John Cena.
Absolutely, and I'm happy they went this route. For all those people who say they hate John Cena, dislike him very much, I guarantee you, if John Cena were to turn heel, all those people will be fans of John Cena. I think it's so hypocritical, man.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, you know this. As soon as you say John Cena heel, yeah, everybody's gonna be all over that. But just think about it. Think about it more for a second right there. What it would mean for John Cena to be on the road for SmackDown. As from what I was able to gather, it's a little bit of a different roster that's on the road for SmackDown. That would mean he'd be able to help out more with the roster, on that side, especially those up-and-comers that maybe might get used on SmackDown, but they're just hanging around backstage. You talk about needing a in-ring general. They would have that in John Cena. So I think it'd be a win-win situation if he were to go over as champion and just kind of stay on SmackDown. Now, we know he's going to be flip-flopping, but SmackDown needs all the power that they can get right now. Sheamus is out. Mark Henry was supposed to get a push as a top babyface. He's out. So, they really have a very thin roster of top mega baby faces right now, and SmackDown needs that dramatically. They desperately need a top baby face right now. Now, the global effect of John Cena, with the WWE, what does it mean for the WWE, Joe, as we wrap this up? Does this mean that, once again, they have their cash cow, or not necessarily?
Yes, it does. It means sold-out events. It means more sold merchandise. It means more appearances for Make-A-Wish. It's just, to use the terminology one more time, it's best for business to have the franchise back.
And there's really no more reason to go more in depth about that. I mean, he is a global phenomenon, whether you guys like to admit it or not. Joe just brought up that very valid point right there. And something else that we need to bring up there, the Susan G. Komen Foundation. If I'm not mistaken, Joe, and correct me on this, I believe this was all set up by John Cena.
Yes, it was. He's the advocate of it, so he has to show face.
So I mean, you think about the lives of so many people that he's able to touch, how much of a draw that he's able to get, loaning his name, to stuff like that. Everybody wins when you got John Cena involved, from the pay-per-views to the merchandise, TV ratings, and honestly, John Cena's timing is very, very well a blessing in disguise right now,